Hello everyone on YouTube, it's Jordan here.
Download sound. Download complete. /user/Jordan/download/Linux Mint 20 mate 64-bit ISO.
Yes, so what you just heard there is Linux Mint. We're going to create a Linux Mint USB, and we're going to be using Linux Mint 20 Juliana, which is the LTS release. Even though 20.1 is based on Ubuntu 20.04, Linux Mint 20 is still getting updates up until April 2025 or 2023. I don't know how it goes with Linux Mint. So today I'm going to show you how to create a bootable USB stick on Windows and on a Mac. We're going to be using the Mac for this, and we're going to be using an app called Balena Etcher, which you can get from balena.io. I absolutely love this app. And the reason why it's quick, it verifies that you've got a legit ISO. Let me just turn the lights on. I've got my keyboards in the way. So we're going to be replacing Windows 10 with Linux Mint on my Lenovo IdeaPad 320. I know what you're thinking now, but your AMD graphics don't work on there. True, absolutely true. But just because they don't work doesn't mean I can't use the computer, because I am visually impaired anyway, and text does display on the screen. So here are the things you're going to need before we get started on the installation. We are going to need a USB stick, a fairly large one, 2 gigs or more. 16 is recommended, from a verified manufacturer. Any generic brands, they just won't work. So you want to keep an eye on that. So I'd advise you back up everything, should you need to. So before we go ahead and make the bootable media, I'm going to go ahead in Windows 10 and check I've got everything backed up before we go ahead. So I'm going to check my documents.
Document dialog windows.
Oops, I didn't type in documents.
Text desktop list. Documents with date, music score to my music, my picture, my desktop.
Now the good thing is I backed up most of my stuff in Dropbox. So I'm going to want to copy a few things to
text desktop list
to my non-bootable USB.
Editor Dropbox cache Chrome extend Doodle bug free Doodle Mac Dropbox transfer files 5 of 94. Beauty and the BB on your B Booter B BTW PAW 5 NR.
These are. I'm not telling you what these are because they're controversial. I mean confidential.
Documents row 1 drive user files row 1 column 4.
Let's put them in there.
1 interrupted action. Skin yes button. User files window. Items view list. BTW PAW 5 NRTF 1 of 1.
Now I haven't tried Linux Mint 20.1, but I'm going to install off camera because I'm going to show you how to create the bootable media. So that's not what I actually want to do. Anyway, let's move on.
Date BTW PAW 5 NRTF 1 of 1. Dropbox row drop. I can't wait to be install internet. Install. I can't internet.
The macOS installer command sheets.
User files row 1. User file.
Definitely want to.
1 interrupted action. Skip yes button. Hold do this. Yes skip cancel. Skip yes do it. Yes do this for all current items. Checkbox not check your edit space. Check.
Like I said, they're in Dropbox anyway, but I won't have them there anyway.
Yes button. Hold while 53%. 8 user files window. Items view list. Internet password TXT2 of 4.
So I'm going to do that before I go ahead and boot the USB.
Date log internet password TN.
Right, so
Dropbox row. Editor.
that's it. So let's go ahead and create our installation media for Linux Mint. So you're going to want to download Balena Etcher from, as I said, balena.io. I'll put a link in the description if you need it. And it will automatically detect your operating system. So I'm using a Mac, but the process will be the same for Windows. You just have to follow along. Of course, on Windows, you'll have to install it. So I'm going to go to my
Finder.
applications here.
Applications. Icon.
Balena Etcher.
Balena Etcher. Open.
Sorry if you can't see me there.
Balena Etcher.
There we
Now
go.
in Etcher window. Etcher.
Balena Etcher. Right.
Close. Zoom. Tool. Etcher. Web button. Flash from file. Button.
So here's our first window. We've got a few options: flash from file, clone drive, or flash from URL. You want to go to flash from file. So we just control option and space on that.
Press flash from file button.
And if this Mac wants to
Balena
cooperate,
busy. Bit busy.
which I don't think it will. Oh, there we go. Hang on a minute. We should be
Flash from URL. Flash from file. Dimmed. U button. Finder. Balena Archer. Cancel.
There we go. I had to command tab in and out. So here we are in our file list, just like you would in the Finder. However, you have to use voiceover commands to navigate. So we want to navigate to our downloaded ISO file.
Options. Column view. Gutenberg. Linux Mint 20 mate 64-bit ISO. Group.
So here we go. Linux Mint 20 mate 64-bit ISO. Now, Linux Mint. Why? You may ask, why am I using Mate? Well, it's the only one that comes with Orca. You won't get it with Cinnamon. And Linux Mint's a nice distro, and I love Linux Mint, so let me know in the comments if you love Linux Mint as well. Anyway, now to change the subject. Now that you've chosen the file you want,
out of column.
get out of here.
Can't open button.
Click open.
Button. Closing dialog. You are currently on a button. To click this button.
In Windows, it's your standard file management commands. You know?
Linux Mint 64 remove 2.0 select target.
So here's our ISO, and we click the button that says select target.
Press group. You are.
This is where we can pick from the USB drive or any other removable drives we have on our computer.
Heading left unticked checkbox. Heading level 3 items. Select target 1 found. Unticked checkbox.
So I'm going to check this.
Tick checkbox. Link. Show 1 hidden. Cancel. Select cat link. Show location size name unticked. Heading left unticked checkbox. You are current name. Size location link. Show 1 hidden. Cancel link. Press link. Show cancel link. System drive link. /dev/disk 0. Link. 1 terabyte.
Well, before we go ahead, we want to make sure that our drive is actually ready because it's not picking it up. So
Finder. Applicate.
To get the disk ready, while we're in this, while Balena Etcher is focused on our flashing,
utility.
I'm going to go to my utilities.
Open. Icon.
It's important that you format the disk.
Digital color meter. Disk utility.
So we'll go on to disk utility.
Open.
Of course, on Windows.
Disk utility.
On Windows, you can right-click and click.
Macintosh HD.
Yes, I know, Macintosh HD. Yes, you can right-click and wow, voiceover. Macintosh HD. That's what the Mac hard drive's called. Anyway, that's changing the subject now. So before you go ahead and flash the USB stick, particularly if you've used it to install Windows 10, you want to format it as anything read by your Mac, because at the moment it's formatted as an NTFS drive, which is handy for Windows drives.
Vertical disk selection in Untitled Macintosh container disk Apple internal Apple Mac Untitled.
Right, so we want to make sure that our Should have all USB.
Untitled Macintosh container Apple internal expanded Apple HDDHT contain Mac Untitled Macintosh row 6 row 7 container Macintosh external Kingston Data Traveler 3.0 media eject button ESD USB eject button Kingston Data Traveler.
So we want to click that.
Row 7 out of the disk tool in view add delete volume first aid partition erase button in dialog for format Mac OS extended journaled pop up button menu Mac exFAT
Just put it. Just do an X.
scheme master boot record
Yeah, put it
secure
on
cancel
MBR.
but erase button expanded disclosure hide the table done dim default hide expanded unmounting disk busy progress erasing Kingston Data Traveler 3. Busy unmounting disk busy progress indicate.
Hope I don't have the same problem as I did with that other drive.
Unmounting disk. Expanded. Disclosure. Hide detail. Table. No select. Hide expanded. Creating the partition map. You are.
There we go. This does take a while. And this Kingston Data Travel of mine, I got from the same guy who got me my PSR 8000. It's a really handy USB stick. It's a 16 gig pen drive, and it's really fast. So
Expanded. Erase process is complete.
as you can see, erase process is complete.
Expand. Hide table. Done. Default.
Now our disk is ready to use.
Disk select.
And now we go back to balena etcher.
Finder. Balena etcher. Balena etcher. Cancel. Link. System drive link. 1 terabyte link. Apple HD. Dimmed untick. Link. /dev/disk 2. Link. 15 point link. Kingston.
So
Press
I'm going to
link.
click our Kingston
Kingston.
drive.
Select 1. Press. Select 1 button.
So once you've picked your USB stick, you've got a summary screen that comes up. And now all you've got left to do.
Button. Linux remove 2 point Kingston chain 15 point flash button.
And flash. On Windows, you'll have to accept a user account control, and you do need administrator rights, just to let you know. But on a Mac, you just need to tap in your admin password.
Hit flash.
Like I'm going to do once I hit flash.
Press flash button.
So I just got to wait for the pop-up.
Application.
There we go.
Dialog.
It should start flashing now. Sometimes it won't, sometimes it will.
Balena etcher. Starting window. Starting group. You are currently on a group. To interact.
But here we go. It's starting the flash. So all you got to do is wait. Now, if you're using something like NVDA on Windows, you can simply do the where-am-I command on NVDA to see your progress, like NVDA key and T. It's the same in JAWS and Supernova, but with Supernova you just press the dolphin, no, not the dolphin key, the 7 key on the number pad. Jeez, I've not used Supernova in ages. Whereas on VoiceOver, you have to keep your eye on the fluctuating progress bar.
23% flashing. 24%.
As you can see, it's on 24% already because this USB stick is a fast thing. I mean, I used it to repair my mum's computer to install Windows 10 on it. But I'm going to do a fresh install of Linux Mint on my laptop, and hopefully get my AMD graphics working, because there is a way. I'm going to try a Linux Mint 20, and because this is an LTS version, it's going to get all the support, and I've got the option of updating to the latest stuff anyway, so I've not lost anything there. So I'm not going to show you how to boot to the USB stick because I've already showed you that when I did my Linux installation videos. You can create macOS installers to some extent with balena etcher, but I found out that only the Windows version of etcher actually works for this. I tried this with a macOS Catalina installer when my Mac was playing up, and it booted up pretty fine, and I was able to install macOS Catalina, so you can't go wrong with that. And it's a very good alternative to something like Unetbootin, which isn't accessible anywhere. Universal USB installers are a pretty good choice as well. It's just that you need to know what you're actually doing to get to know it, using it and stuff.
Edit read only row 5 column 2.
And I could do another dual boot with Linux Mint and Windows if I wanted to. but I'm going to do a fresh install of Linux Mint anyway, because dual boots can go wrong. I mean, I'm glad I managed to do a dual boot, but if I was dual booting, I'd probably do Linux instead, because Linux is kind of old, and I won't mind if that was to fail anyway, because I'd use it for messing about on. That's what old Linux distros are good for now these days. But we're going to go ahead and install Linux anyway, because I love Linux and I've used Windows to sort of do stuff. I mean, if I wanted to use Windows again, I could reinstall Windows, no problem. I would just have to manually create a USB stick, a bootable Windows 10 USB, which I might show you again in the video when I go ahead and.
Flash complete. Linux Mint 20 made 64-bit ISO was successfully flashed to Kingston Data Traveler application. Alert. System dialog. The disk you inserted was not readable by this computer. The disk you inserted was not readable by this computer.
So as you can see, our disk has successfully flashed, and the Mac has given us a warning. What we can do now is safely eject
Initialize, ignore, but eject. balena etcher, window. You are cut.
And once you're done, then that's it. We can remove the USB now. Oh, go on then. Just as a treat, I'll show you. We'll take a look at Linux Mint 20. We'll take a look at Linux Mint 20. How about that? So let me just remove this one. And we'll get on with the installation of Linux Mint 20. Uliana.
Notification from autoplay. Content.
Windows 10.
Inside out.
Say goodbye to your place on this hard drive.
Restart R. Shut down new.
Well, what we can do is
Restart.
we can do a restart actually.
Secure desktop.
And I'm going to keep on hitting F12. Now we're going to nuke the drive here, and I've got backups. NVDA saying goodbye for the final time. I mean, if I want Windows, I'll just buy a new computer. I'm saving up for a computer like the one my mum's got anyway. Right, so now we're going to boot into our Linux Mint install media. And according to my earphones, we are indeed booting up. I just got to make sure I can turn my screen reader. Type in my firmware unlock code if I need to. We should see the Linux Mint installed. I'm going to go ahead and turn on Opera if I need to. Because this is the Mate version of Linux Mint. So you do get Opera. There we go. Put the volume on here.
Menu. Accessory left control.
At the moment we're in a live environment. And there's my keyboard. I'm going to go back to the camera on the Mac. And I'm going to guide you through the installation.
Button main. Button main. but Linux Mint 2.
So we're still in balena etcher.
This view to Finder, Google Chrome, camera, microphone, stop recording.
And we're back on the camera. So now, let's go check what apps we get with this installation of Linux Mint then. Well, we're in the live session.
Graphics, archive, couch, carrot, color, picture, list, document, note, image, mate, onboard, red, search, text, USB, image, write, USB, coordinate, archive manager.
There's our USB tools.
Set graphics menu, into Firefox, thunder, transmit, Firefox, chat, thunder, transmission.
Yeah, Linux Mint 20.1 introduced web apps.
Into Office menu, Office sound cell, you install rhythm, or install multimedia codecs.
Multimedia codecs, you can install those if you need to.
With sound cell, you install a sound system to this new file, keyparted log file, power status system, terminal time, this using file browser, keyparted system, places, web system menu, right control.
So,
place system menu.
I guess that's it really.
Preference administrator control, about the preference administrator control center. Help. About mate. Preferences administration move to driver install Linux Mint.
So we're going to click on install Linux Mint. Don't worry if it doesn't detect the Wi-Fi drivers. Mine generally doesn't.
Install frame. Click push button.
In fact,
Continue push
while
right
in the install,
control.
I want to change my Orca preferences real quick.
Tab screen reader preferences dialog. General page tab. Keyboard layout panel. Desktop tab. Progress tab. Braille up tab. Beeper space.
That's what I want.
Checked. Left braille speak keep general OK push return. Screen reader settings right tab. Language select tab. Click for tab. Continue push return. Table with 98 rows 1 column. English US. English UK tab. English UK tab. Text. Type tab. Detect key tab. Click for tab. Back for tab. Continue push return. I don't want to connect tab. 12,0 queues tab. Click push left 12 connect to this network. Selected radio button tab. Left connect tab. Click for tab. Back for tab. Continue to return. Install multimedia codecs checkbox not checked. Space. Checked. Tab. Learn more tab. Configure secure boot checkbox checked.
Oh, we can even configure secure boot.
Tab. Password text.
Which is always nice. So I'm going to head and do that.
Password text. Blah 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 blah. Click push tab. Back for tab. Continue push button. Return.
Because if you configure secure boot, you're able to boot into Linux and it'll install the drivers should you need them. So it's going to start our computer, detect any operating systems we've got, and I've got Windows 10 on this computer, so I'm going to remove Windows 10.
Tab. Install multimedia codecs checkbox checked tab. Learn more push button tab. Configure secure boot checkbox checked tab. Password text click push tab. Install multimedia codecs checkbox checked.
Now this could take a while, and you just got to be patient. Now, the secure boot password, by the way, it's if you want to boot into anything that's not signed by, say, Canonical or Microsoft or whatever. But with Lenovo has signed nearly every Linux distro, so you shouldn't have any problem.
Install Linux Mint alongside Windows Boot Manager. Selected radio button. Erase disk and install Linux Mint. Selected radio
So
button.
I'm going to erase disk and install Linux Mint.
Click for tab. Back for tab. Install now push return.
Now,
write the changes to disks. Dialog if you continue. The changes listed below will be written to the disks. Otherwise, you will be able to make further changes manually. Warning. This will destroy all data on any partitions you have removed as well as on tab. Continue push button. Return. Install. Panel.
Let's go to start installing.
Text. New your tab. Back push tab. Continue push button. Return. 20%. Your name. Text. JRPN tab. The name it uses when it talks to other computers. Your computer's name. LFLINUXLMINT.
I'm going to call it Linux Mint.
Tab. Pick a username. Text. Order tab. Choose a path. Black circle. Confirm your black circle. Require my password to log in.
Yep.
Selected device control.
You should never have automatic login turned on. What if someone steals your laptop?
Tab. Encrypt my phone tab. Continue push button. Return.
Goodbye, Windows. We have successfully
75%. 100%.
started the Linux Mint install. And I'm showing you the install as a treat. Because, I mean, why not? It just shows that the bootable installation media actually works. We've got a Linux Mint system up and running. We've got rid of Windows 10. I mean, I do like Windows 10, but as I've said, I'd rather get a more powerful computer that can actually run Windows. One as powerful as the one my mum has. Oh my goodness, that is such a really powerful computer. When I was fixing it to do the reinstallation of Windows 10, I was amazed at how quick it opened the start menu. Because it was as slow as my laptop is on Windows now, when I first saw it. But then, once we did the reinstallation, it was blazingly fast. I mean, the fastest, I wouldn't say it was as fast as the fastest computer I've ever used, because
24%.
that would be an understatement, in my opinion. Where's my Mac? There it is. Right, so
Mike, stop recording.
the fastest computer I've ever used is an HP ProBook
33%.
450 G6, which is a business laptop, but it can also be used for great music production. And Linux Mint, especially the mewe version,
42%.
I found it runs really, really good on this computer. Even in dual boot, it runs really well. But it's just best to just have Windows 10
51%.
when I need it. I mean, if needs be, I can always do the Windows. I can always reinstall Windows another time. But for now, I'm going to do a complete wipe and install
61%.
Linux Mint, because my graphics drivers don't actually work pretty well. Well, not on Linux, but I mean, I love Linux, but I'm sure there's a way of getting those graphics drivers up and running. What do you think? AMD APU processors on Linux Mint.
70%.
But my guess is, because I've got the screen reader turned on, it automatically turns off the screen, if you know what I mean. So,
73%.
I mean, I could always boot camp this Mac and install Windows 10 via boot camp, but I don't have an activation key. So I might save up for a new computer I might save up for a desktop computer that I can use at my uncle's with Windows on it.
75%.
That way I've got the best of both worlds. I've got my laptop that's running Linux. I've got a PC.
79%.
I've got a PC that's running Windows, and I've got this Mac. So I've not lost anything. So as you can tell, our installation is going really well. We're not having any problems with the
83%.
installation. So Linux Mint 20, as I said, if I've not said it before, is based on Ubuntu 20.04 LTS. Linux Mint 20 itself is an LTS version. I mean, I could have installed Linux Mint
87%.
20.1, but I like Linux Mint 20. I like Linux Mint regardless of which version I'm using. I mean, there's no harm in choosing that it's starting off with a specific version.
100%.
So I think that's proceeded with wiping Windows off the computer. So I'm keeping my eye on the install. I'll go ahead and do that now.
Tab. 1%.
Yep. it's getting on with the install. Now you could do what I do and do some distro hopping, but nah, there's no point. Linux Mint's the best. Linux Mint is the best one I've used, and I love Linux Mint for what it is. I love Windows for what it is, but Windows would be better if it ran on better hardware. I mean, the way it seems, Windows 10 and Microsoft Edge, they'd benefit from a lot more RAM and a faster hard drive and CPU than my laptop currently has. Well, to be honest, I use Google Chrome anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference. Edge and Chrome, same code base.
%. 66%.
And KDE Connect, to be honest, it's better than the Your Phone companion app on Windows. In my opinion, it's more raw. It does what it does. It allows you to transfer files to and from your phone. It doesn't have all that fancy. It doesn't have all that weird stuff that comes with the likes of the Your Phone app. And Linux is brilliant. So all in all, not a bad choice if you want to have fun with Linux. Linux is also good for downloading torrents if you're into those. And torrents, for those who don't know what torrents are, they're a way to get large files quickly and
67%.
intact as well. So it verifies each step of the download to make sure nothing's corrupted. Remember back in the day, the first days I knew about torrents, I used to associate them with pirated movies and stuff, but no, torrents can be used for downloading large files such as Windows
71%.
and Linux distros pretty quick. It's recommended to use those if you're downloading from places like the Internet Archive.
%73%.
It's taken a while.
74%. 79%. 81%.
Micro, stop record.
Now,
83%.
I think Linux Mint comes with a codecs in the installation media. So even if you can't connect to the internet, I think it's
86%.
installing. I think it installs those. That's why it's probably taking a bit longer. But to be honest, for someone like me who listens to MIDI files, You don't really need the codecs because there's no codec for MIDI. I mean, MIDI isn't a proprietary format.
88%.
MIDI is MIDI, and even if you install a MIDI sequencer, you can still work with MIDI. I mean, it is what it is, if you know what I mean.
89%.
So our Linux is installing, so that's a good thing. So what next, you may ask? Well, as I showed you in the Linux Mint 20 when
74%.
I did the Linux Mint video,
100%. Installation complete. Dialog installation has finished. You can continue testing Linux Mint now, but until you restart the computer, any changes you make or documents you save will not be preserved.
so we're gonna we can restart our computer now.
Continue restart now, push the space.
So I'm going to end the video once we get to the login screen and we're on the desktop. So I say safe to remove the drive. Like that. And now our computer will begin booting into Linux Mint. Just shut it down. There we go, it's booting up. Now listen out. If your computer's got a hard drive like mine, listen out for it spinning. Or the fan noise. Look, I can hear my hard drive. Should be able to turn on the screen reader at this rate. So we can log in. Here we are. The Linux Mint desktop.
Menu. Accessory graphic escape. Welcome frame. List with 5 items. Welcome. Tab. First steps. Screen reader preferences dialog. General page tab. Keyboard layout panel. Desktop. Select tab. Progress bar updates panel. Speak updates checkbox checked. Tab. Braille up tab. Beeper space. Checked.
So that's how to create a Linux installation drive and how to install Linux from that drive. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it.
Microphone. Stop recording.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording because that was a long one for me anyway. But I'm not gonna stop there. I'm going to leave you with a song from the PSR 220. Let's go for one of my favorites. That was how to install. Oops, sorry. That was how to create a Linux Mint installation USB that works. This is Jordan signing off, saying have a good day, everyone.